Hello and welcome to Ian Moore. Ian is the Director of Incyte International, and Ian has done an awful lot of work with us, working in schools as stand-in deputy heads, working on timetable and curriculum, but he's also been very much instrumental in setting up the Kickstart programme in which Incyte is involved in with schools. And so what I wondered, Ian, is if you could just share with us, why would a school want to be involved in the Kickstart programme? Can you just explain a little bit about it, please?
When I initially looked at the Kickstart program, I looked at it as a huge bureaucratic burden. However, looking at it again, it gave schools additional capacity at no extra cost. So long as the school wasn't making anybody redundant, and so long as the school was creating a new post, albeit for 6 months, the school could add capacity to their teams being stretched through COVID catch-up, stretched through all the additional cleaning regimes that COVID has brought, stretched because they've always wanted to have an in-house catering or an in-house caretaking team, but they've never been able to afford to develop those skills. Well, the Kickstart gives them an opportunity to start the journey. So every job that's created in school creates a new job for somebody between the ages of 16 to 24. Yeah. Who is currently unemployed and on universal credit.
Yeah. And does who pays the bill? Who pays the wages?
Well, the school pay the wages, but the good news is there's a grant that comes in which will match the cost to the school of both the wages and the national insurance and any pension contributions. So the placement is expected to do a 25-hour week over a 6-month period, and it's effectively fully funded by the Kickstart program.
Is that over and above the minimum wage if the job is more?
It can be, but the funding is up to the minimum wage for the particular area that the school's in. So obviously slightly larger in London than perhaps it is in a more remote part of the country.
Okay, brilliant. Okay. And so what would the next steps be then? And what does Incyte do?
Well, two things. The next step, I suppose, is to identify what opportunities the school might need. And certainly Incyte have got a range of draft job descriptions that a school might want to look at to start the ball rolling. But effectively, it can be any job, and it can be part of a route into working in a school. So it could be a 6-month placement whereby if the school likes the placement, that placement person moves on to an apprentice. Now, it could be as an apprentice teacher if they've already got a degree. It could be as an apprentice caretaker if they've already got a small caretaking team that they want to develop. Equally, apprentices for learning support assistants or catering assistants or sports assistants. So they could be part of the journey. What Incyte will do is they will do all the training that the new placement will need. So all the safeguarding training will be taken care of. They'll be trained in how to manage relationships with the staff who already exist in the school, how to manage conflicts and disagreements, and also how to manage their own development, developing a good job application, developing a strong and detailed CV that future employers might look at. So Incyte will take care of all of that and support them on a regular basis throughout that 6 months.
Because as I understand it, they not only have a training session each month, but also they have a mentor who's linked to them to be able to support them and help them through that whole process. What a wonderful opportunity. I wish I'd had that starting out.
Yeah, and I think the joy of the mentor is that there is how much do they need the mentor? Some students, some new Kickstart placements will be quite timid going into the world of work and can be supported on a very regular basis, but it might only take 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Others will be far more developed and can be accelerated through that process. So again, it might be a slightly longer but more in-depth mentoring session that they need to really push them into the next part of their career beyond the 6-month placement.
Ian, thank you so much. That's been a real good insight, if you'll excuse the pun, into Kickstart. And I'm sure we'll have a few more questions if anybody wants to get back in touch with us. Thank you so much.
That's the best thing to do, get in touch. Thank you, Caroline.
Bye.